All right, Gracie, here's a little bit more of analysis of your swing now that I've had a chance to look at it. And I'm mainly going to point out the things that you're doing wrong that we can work on. You're doing a lot of things right, too, but I'm only just going to point out the things you're doing wrong. So the first thing we're going to look at is pretty easily corrected, and that's when you get down to heel plant right here. Look at the angle of your shoulders like this. And this girl on the left here, she's a left-handed batter for UCLA. She was the college MVP last year. Look at the angle of her shoulders. That's a much more attack position, okay? So you're already kind of falling backwards when you get to your heel plant. So we're going to want your front shoulder lower than your back shoulder, just by a little bit, but that's a better attack position. So there's one thing. I'm just going to go down a list here. If you watch her, again, her name is Megan Langenfeld. Watch her hands. They stay about shoulder height until she starts to rotate, and then everything moves around in sync. And if we watch your hands, all right, they're about shoulder height right there, but everything drops down before you even start to rotate all the way down to here. And then it looks like you're doing the old try to swing level thing. We don't want to do that. You want to. What we're going to do is start with the bat against your shoulder, and then that's going to solve that problem. So I just wanted to see that you're dropping your hands before you even start to rotate. Okay, let's look at the next thing. We talked about having a little bit wider base, okay, as far as your stride goes, maybe a little bit more aggressive weight transfer, a little bit wider stance there, have your feet a little wider when you get the heel plant. Okay, we talked about that. Your back elbow is sliding. Look at your back elbow right here. Well, here, let's go on the left-hand side. You look at Megan Langenfeld's back elbow's up, but then we call it getting connected. And now everything's rotating together all the way to contact. And you can see here your back elbow starts sliding forward of your hip. What we want to do is we want to get it connected right there, and then everything's going to all rotate together, and your elbow's not going to slide forward. So there's another thing. I'm going to have to get this protractor tool here. Ideally, when we get to our heel plant and we start to rotate, where Megan Langenfeld, we'll say, we'll start her right here. There's an angle that's formed between, hold on one second here. I'm going to plot the angle of her arm. And it's, I'm close here. Let's just call it 113 degrees. So that's the angle of her arm. And that angle stays consistent all the way through her swing. Okay, so now we get to impact. Let's call it right there. And I'm going to move the protractor tool back again here and plot that. And, it's going to be pretty close to where it was. It's still, right around 115 degrees. So the angle of her arm didn't change once she started to rotate, okay? Now we're going to look at you. Here you're starting to rotate, so I'll take the angle of your arm right here. And so let's call that 126 degrees. And you can see now your arm is straight. You're straightening your arm prior to contact. Ideally, if you wanted 126 degrees or if you wanted it 90 degrees, or whatever angle is comfortable for you, just keep it at that angle. If you're straightening your arm before contact like that, that's draining power. Ideally, we want it whatever angle you start rotating at, keep it at that angle. It could be straight. That's a little tough. It could be straight, it could be 90 degrees, it could be anywhere in between. Just keep the angle consistent, okay? So we don't want to be straightening our lead arm going into contact like that. Again, here you can see it. So it's bent, starting to straighten, and now it's straight. And then all you're doing is just pushing your hands forward there, and that's draining some power. So there's another thing. Your power V is, if we look at Megan Langenfeld, her front elbow works up like this, is pointed up and away, and she has this hitter's box here. That's a good, nice, firm foundation to hit the ball off of, okay? And then right after contact, she's going to extend her left arm, your left arm, and stay palm up and get through the ball like that. So you can see she's very nice and tight rotation, very short to the ball, and then she's going to extend long through the ball. That's exactly what we want. And now the power V is pointed right at the pitcher's head. Okay, so if we look at you and your power V, you're kind of extending down, okay? And because your hitter's box at impact right here, your hitter's box looks like this. It looks a lot different because you're extending that front arm, and then you're kind of rolling that hitter's box over like that. So if we can get that front elbow to work up and then extend this arm straight out like that, that's going to help you make better contact with the ball. So there's another thing. Let's see here. I'm gonna do this. We don't want to swing level to the ball, and we don't want to swing down on the ball. So I am going to plot the line that this ball is coming in on here in red, just like this, and then we'll switch to green. I'm going to plot the meat of your bat, okay, and we're going to see okay, your bat, for perfect contact, there's only literally one spot where your bat is perfectly on plane with the ball, and it's right here. What we want to do is we don't want to swing level to the ball. We don't want to swing down on the ball. We want to match the plane of our bat, the plane of the path of our bat to match the plane of the ball. So ideally, the meat of your bat should be moving right along that red line, which you'll, if I plotted Megan Langenfeld's, it does. It's perfect. Right here, right here. Whoops. Okay, so there's the path of the ball coming in, and then if I plotted her bat like this, you can see she keeps the bat on the plane of the pitch for a nice long time. She can hit the ball anywhere along here and make anywhere along here. She can hit the ball at any of these spots right here and make really good contact with the ball, where you're only going to make really good contact with the ball right around the yellow circle. So that's another thing. And just the last thing here is the back foot. We're going to look at Megan Langenfeld. Again, we want to be nice and light on the back foot and be right up on your toe. Even drag your foot forward, maybe an inch or so, right on your front toe. We don't want any weight on the back foot at contact. And you can see here that you still have some weight and you're kind of squishing the bug with your back foot. If we can get that to drag your toe a little bit, then your hips are going to be nice and free to rotate freely through the ball. So I said a lot there. But maybe if you watch it a couple times, some of these things will sink in. But I'll give you a list in the email on a few things to work on. So hopefully that helped. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to email me. Okay, bye.